You're still watching the City of Lagos TV show. Welcome to the Commissioners platform, where we talk with commissioners who are, of course, very strategic officers under the Lagos State Executive Council. Today, we're going to be speaking with a seasoned journalist, a public relations expert, information management strategist. We all know him as the Commissioner for Information and Strategy, Mr. Gbenga Omotosho. Thank you, sir.
Thank you for having me.
The 2023 election is fast approaching, and Lagosians have actually also experienced quality governance from Mr. Babajide SANWO-OLU. But at this critical moment, there are a lot of expectations since the governor is running for his second term. So as a commissioner, can you tell us what are the major strategic philosophy the governor has actually applied to achieve most of the achievements he has made so far? We know the themes agenda, but putting it simply, what has been responsible for Governor SANWO-OLU's achievement?
Thank you for that kind of question. People have seen Mr. SANWO-OLU's achievements, several of them. They have seen that he promised a greater Lagos, and all around them they can see a greater Lagos. All of the things that were not present when he mounted the saddle, Lagos is now seeing that those things are possible. We've seen the possibility of a rail system in Lagos. We've seen the possibility of Lagos having another airport. We've seen the possibility of the Lekki Deep Sea Port. We've seen the possibility of a 42-year-old road being expanded into 6 lanes, Lekki Expressway. We've seen the possibility of having more hospitals in Lagos. So if we want to come down to the question, what is responsible for this? What is the driving force? Mr. Babajide SANWO-OLU is being driven by his passion for Lagos, and he's a compassionate human being, and that compassion is spreading to governance and to all Lagosians. So the driving force is the passion to make Lagos greater, the passion to see that Lagos, being the hope of the black man, is doing what we put the black man in the forefront of his own affairs in the world. And generally to see that Lagos is great, and then Lagos is made greater. So that is the driving force.
Despite these achievements, there are obviously challenges the government is also facing to try to get things right. Can we share some of those challenges, and how has the government been able to come up with strategy to mitigate against these challenges?
Nowadays, the administration of Mr. Babajide SANWO-OLU and Dr. Kadri Obafemi Hamzat does not talk about challenges anymore, because we have seen that so many challenges have been faced. But these challenges have been used as a springboard to achieve great things in Lagos. We've been seeing challenges of a nature when we came into office, when it was raining all day, all night, every day. And then we couldn't do roads, and people were saying the government was lazy, the government was indolent, and they were saying all manner of things. But when nature decided to smile on us, and then the rain subsided, then we started building roads, and everybody can see today that Lagos State government under Mr. Babajide SANWO-OLU has done more than 970 roads. The Public Works Corporation has fixed 650 roads. We have done some iconic roads, and more are on the way. Like I said, Lekki Expressway that was built 42 years ago, a 2-lane road, is now 6-lane road, which the president is coming to open any moment from now. So the challenges have always been there. We want to talk about NSAS. We want to talk about COVID-19, when people thought we were going to be picking bodies on the streets. But because of the sagacity of Mr. Governor and then the diligence of our health workers, today Lagos State has become an example of how to fight such pandemics anywhere in the world. People are now looking up to us to provide solutions. So all of the things that we were hit by in the days of COVID-19, we have now seen them as a springboard to improve our healthcare system. We have 10 new oxygen centers that we have built. We have isolation centers. We have built human capacity. Our doctors and health personnel, they can handle such situations better than they used to handle them. Is it collapse building that you want to talk about? Because of our experience, we've been able to strengthen the law. We've been able to strengthen the system to ensure that houses don't just drop. Is it flooding you want to talk about? Now, in Lagos, all of the things that happened all over the world about flooding this year, we didn't experience them. No, we didn't find people in Lagos just losing their homes or people just evacuating their homes in droves because of a flood that has happened all over the world, in Europe, in America, or even in some states in Nigeria and in Kogi, in so many other places.
Huge population is a major challenge for a government like Lagos because of the cosmopolitan nature. Of course, a report has it that thousands of people throng into Lagos virtually almost every day looking for greener pasture. And this is a government that is, of course, making giant strides in the areas of health, infrastructure, transport, and all that. But experts have also said that the huge population is putting pressure on what has been achieved so far in terms of actually trying to meet up with everybody's demand. So, Commissioner, we want to ask you, what is the government doing? What is the strategic plan to try to, take care of this massive population, putting pressure on the infrastructure in the city of Lagos?
Thank you. As you have observed, and like experts have observed, we have about 6,000 people coming to Lagos almost every day. And unfortunately, there is no way we can stop them because the law allows Nigerians to live in any part of the country so long as they are lawful. And so we cannot mount a bridge. We cannot mount a checkpoint at Baga, for example, stopping people from coming into Lagos, or you want a checkpoint on the waterways and stop people coming in from Republic of Benin and other places. But what we have done is that we are advocating that should you want to come into Lagos and stay for more than 1 month, maybe you are in Lagos for 3 months. It is very simple. Take Lagos the residence card. If you have LASA card, we will be able to get the data for us to be able to plan for you, for us to be able to ramp up our infrastructural needs in terms of education, in terms of healthcare, in terms of social security, in terms of catering for people if you have the kind of calamity that humanity was faced with COVID-19. So, but some people see Lagos state resident card as a form of putting them into the tax net. It's a very big mistake. Nobody is saying that if you register with LASA, that will enable the tax authorities to be able to capture you. No, it is not so. It is just for us to be able to get the data of people who are in Lagos, to know who they are, so that we can prepare in terms of security, in terms of food, in terms of education and other facilities and services that the government of Mr. BABAJIDE SANWO-OLU is rendering.
The second largest or second longest bridge is going to be built in Lagos. We're talking about the 4th mainland bridge. Information has it that the Chinese firm has been given the contract to build this bridge. What would be the major advantage of this project to the city of Lagos?
The 4th mainland bridge is one of those projects that are so dear to the heart of Mr. Governor, Mr. BABAJIDE SANWO-OLU. It's going to be running all the way from Ibrahim Adesanya through the riverine areas up to Ikorodu, and then we'll be coming out of Lagos-Ibadan Expressway. The idea is to have a road like M25 in the UK. So it's going to be an iconic bridge. It's going to be built by CC, as you have said, a Chinese company. And Lagos State government has done its environmental impact assessment. Report is ready, and then Lagos State government any moment from now is going to close the financial aspect of it, and it's going to be told because it's going to be built by a private public partnership. And we have seen that that company has the capacity, the technical capacity, the financial muscle to undergo this kind of project. So for all of us Lagosians, it's going to be a win-win situation. The financial burden is not going to be on us, and then the environmental burden has been studied. People are going to be compensated for losing their property.
Now, let's look at the health sector. Of course, we've seen quite a number of projects, health hospitals being commissioned by the governor. But referring to the other question when I talk about the huge population, tell us, what is the primary health care delivery system which the governor has been able to put in place to make sure that at least a larger percentage of Lagosians have access to quality health?
We have about 320 primary health care centers in Lagos. Of this number, about 72 run 24 hours services. That means any time, any day that you go into these primary health care centers, you will get treatment. One of the first things that Mr. SANWO-OLU did when he came in was to send commissioners around all these primary health care hospitals to compulsorily to go to about 2 or 3 and then get treated in any of them and be able to study how the place is run. I was treated in one of the hospitals here in Ikeja, and I found the service and the environment very good. Despite that, Mr. SANWO-OLU has embarked on a massive renovation of these hospitals, and the new primary health care centers that we are going to be building are the type that can compete favorably with any of its cadre anywhere in the world. And then more and more doctors have been trained every day and encouraged to stay here in Lagos for them to be able to be useful, render service to our people at the grassroots who are the users of these primary health care centers. And even those who are not on the mainland, who are in the riverine areas, recently we launched a floating clinic, like a complete hospital that can attend to emergencies, that can attend to people who are in the riverine areas. So primary health care is the bedrock of the whole system, and Mr. BABAJIDE SANWO-OLU's administration does not joke with that at all.
Let's look at security. Lagos has been adjudged as one of the very peaceful cities across the country or states, based on the fact that the BABAJIDE SANWO-OLU government has taken very proactive efforts to check insecurity. But let's look at the Lagos State Security Trust Fund. To what extent is the trust fund keep security, but is also another challenge to sustain it?
The Lagos State Security Trust Fund is one of the legacies of the Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu administration in Lagos State. And Mr. BABAJIDE SANWO-OLU, like his predecessors, doesn't joke with that trust fund at all. It's a platform on which the private sector plays with the state government, because security is seen as the responsibility of all of us. And so far, so good, it has been doing very well. Every year, it holds a town hall meeting where it renders account to people who have donated money to the trust fund, and to show what the money has been done with. The Commissioner of Police will come and give a report. Mr. Governor will also give a report, and everybody will be asked to make contributions, and they talk about how to improve security in Lagos. The RRS that you see today, the fuel that runs it comes from the Security Trust Fund. And the Security Trust Fund has done a lot in terms of encouraging the police, in terms of reinforcing the police equipment, in terms of training, in terms of generally joining them in seeing that Lagos secure. And I made bold to say that of all the states in Nigeria, Lagos remains the most peaceful, the most secure. That is why at times I say Lagos is a victim of its own success, because people rush into Lagos because they see Lagos as a secure state. They see Lagos as a state that is, the business and financial honeypot of Nigeria, Nigeria's Canaan land, that everybody comes to say that his own a land flowing with milk and honey, and then coming to take his own. So Lagos has put in a lot in terms of security. You see police vehicles that are new all over the place. Those are things that people can see. There are so many other things that the administration of Mr. Babajide Sanwo-OLU is doing in terms of security that you can't come on television and begin to talk about, or you can't get splashed on the pages of newspapers. The other time when the president was here to join Mr. Governor to deliver to the police about 1,000 bulletproof vests, 1,000 helmets, about 500 vehicles, patrol vehicles, over 100 motorcycles, patrol motorcycles, and so many other things for the police to be able to do their job. So in terms of security, Mr. Babajide Sanwo-OLU holds regular security meetings with all security agencies, heads who are in Lagos. So he doesn't joke with the security at all, and this can be seen in Lagos with the presence of a very well-dressed policemen all over the place.
Let's look at traffic situation in Lagos. We've noticed that the government has started installing CCTV cameras in virtually very strategic areas of Lagos. And observers have also come up with the comment that these cameras are not working. The government is spending so much installing all these technology. Honorable Commissioner, we need you to clear the air. These CCTV cameras are expected to also enhance LASMA or VIO operations, and of course to check violation of traffic laws. Let's look at the Lagos Traffic Master Plan with regards to some of all these installations. Are they working? Are we, can we see more impact on these projects?
The question is coming in two ways, and I'm going to approach it in two ways. First is to say that about traffic congestion, the Sanwo-OLU administration prepared well to tackle it when it was coming on board. It identified gridlock points in Lagos, and of these 60 gridlock points, we have resolved 40. 13 have been resolved, about 6 are on the drawing board. And part of our traffic decongestion initiative is the removal of some roundabouts and replacing them with what you are now seeing on Allen Avenue in Maryland, and Ajah 1 and 2 in Ikotun. But we think a lot can still be done about traffic congestion, especially by Lagosians themselves. Most of the motorists, they do not obey traffic rules. They drive vehicles that break down anytime. And then when you have a breakdown, for just 10 minutes, you can see the tailback is so long in kilometers because of the sheer volume of vehicles that we have in Lagos. Then talking about using technology to resolve this problem. The cameras that you are talking about, they are part of our smart city project. It's just an aspect of that huge project under which we are laying fiber optic cables around the state. We have 6,000 kilometers of fiber optic cables that we are laying around Lagos. The first phase is 3,000 kilometers. I think we are at about 98 or 99% of that project now. And part of the project, the Smart City project, is the installation of cameras in strategic areas. We have not finished installing all of them. The ones that have been installed, they are working. That is why you see people nowadays, where you used to find policemen or traffic wardens, you no longer find them there. You drive in such areas and you commit any traffic offense, nobody runs after you. You get a notice and you don't renew your vehicle papers, nobody runs after you. You get a notice that your paper is due for renewal and you have not done this, and you pay a fine. So it's working, but like I said, it's still at its infant stage, initial stage. By the time the whole thing gets to maturity, all of us will see the effect, and then we see how it can contribute to not just traffic congestion, but security in Lagos.
Over time, we've also observed the very strategic, cordial relationship the government of Lagos have gone into with foreign institutions, foreign financial institutions, organizations, all in the bid to have some kind of international support. So, Honorable Commissioner, would you like to share with us some of these very fantastic initiatives or collaboration, cooperation with international organizations and NGOs to try to give a bite to the team's agenda?
In every aspect of the team's agenda, you have a foreign component, because there is this saying that no man is an island. Lagos has become a city-state that is the hope of the black man, because it believed that of every 10 black men in the world, that at least 3 live in Lagos. So we believe that when Lagos makes it, then the black man will make it. So that is why we strive all of the time to ensure that we have international connections. We relate with international organizations who are also helping us in the development of the SDG goals, who are also interested in the development of Lagos. Hardly can you see any project that is being done in Lagos that has international input that you don't find all these NGOs, the medical associations, trade associations, financial institutions. I was just talking this morning about the fish rating. The fish rating, Lagos is the only state that has gotten a AAA, you know, to show that Lagos is very solid in terms of its finances and in terms of its revenue and in terms of its economy generally. Because it's seen in terms of economy as equal to the size of about 5 countries in Africa. So if you look at that, there is no way it can be grown by international organizations, either in the area of sports or in the area of technology, where our young men are doing wonderful things using technology to resolve everyday challenges, you know, with international collaboration.
We'll be speaking with the Honorable Commissioner for Information and Strategy, Mr. Benga Omotosho. Of course, taking a look at some of the major giant strides of the Babajide Sanwo-Olu-led government. So, Honorable Commissioner, 2023 is around the corner, and of course, Mr. Governor is going for a second term. All indication shows that he's the man to beat, you know, at the election. So, what should Lagosians, all stakeholders, expect this governor to do once he gets that second ticket? What are the better days ahead as Lagos is rising?
First, let me thank Lagosians for the opportunity that they have given Mr. Babajide Sanwo-Olu to be governor. Let me thank them for supporting him, and let me thank them for being so cooperative, giving us the space for us to be able to have our modest achievements. Talking about the expectations from this administration, if we make a second term, which we shall make by the grace of God and by the collaboration and encouragement of all Lagosians, discerning Lagosians. So much. There are so many projects that we would love to complete. We have just spoken about a Fort Milan Bridge. We want to do the groundbreaking and see how far we can push it in 4 years. We want to, any moment from now, Lagosians will be to ride the blue line and the red line. We want to see that all these, that they run smoothly and that we initiate more lines. We want to see the completion of the K2 Engineering Mental Health Center, about 500 beds. We want to see the completion of the Massey Street Children's Hospital, which is expected to be the biggest in sub-Saharan Africa. We want to see the completion of the Ojo General Hospital, the first to be built in decades. By that time, the 32 metric tons per hour motorized mill will have been in operation. It's the largest in Africa. The J. Randu Center for Yoruba Arts and Culture will have been in operation to boost our tourism potential. Then the stadia that we are building in various parts of the state will have been ready. Then we are going to build a tech hub in Yaba. Already tech giants like Microsoft, like Google, they are showing interest in what is going to happen in Yaba. And of course, the film city in K2 Engineering, which is being built on about 5,000 hectares of land for our young people to be able to show their creative talents in filmmaking, in editing. Then the Okpebi-Ojota Link Bridge, which is about 3.9 kilometers. Lagosians should also expect something exciting with the food up coming up in K2 Engineering, which is enough to feed about 5 million people in 3 months. So all of the wastage that we have been having for lack of storage, our farmers will no longer experience that, and Lagosians can look forward to having fresh food Onitsha. We want to see the completion of so many roads. I think we have completed some roads in Ikorodu, others that we have not completed. We want to complete them. Bola Tinubu Chicago want to complete Agric-Ishawa Road. We want to complete Oyedepo Road, second phase, and so many of them. We are completing about 15 jetties all over Lagos, so that more and more of our people can join the waterways and see it as a better, faster, safer means of transportation. We want to see the beginning of another seaport in Badagry. We want to see the beginning of the airport in Lekki, and so many other laudable projects that have been conceived by the administration of Mr. BABAJIDE SANWO-OLU. Lagosians are going to see that indeed a greater Lagos that Mr. BABAJIDE SANWO-OLU promised is rising, and we continue to rise.
We want to thank you very much, sir, Honorable Commissioner for Information and Strategy. But that's it on Commissioner's platform, looking at the major giant strides of Mr. BABAJIDE SANWO-OLU, and of course, what Lagosians should expect once it comes back for the second term to actually finish quite a number of fantastic projects on ground. Well, the City of Lagos TV show will continue in a moment.